Welcome back to Without Shortcuts. Today I'm going to be doing homemade pasta with no machine. Now obviously I'm here by myself today. Brian is off and busy, and this is just going to be a short little video. After we did the original homemade pasta video, we had a lot of requests and a lot of interest in seeing pasta done without using a pasta machine. So since we don't do any shortcuts around here, we just want to do a quick video. We're going to show you exactly how to do pasta with no machine, no special equipment. Everything will be done by hand with a sharp knife, and you'll be good to go. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. You can see our ingredients here. We're going to do the same recipe as far as 1 cup of semolina, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 whole eggs, and 1 egg yolk, and then just a little bit of good quality olive oil and a pinch of salt. And got to have your Filipino fighting stick available so that you can use that to roll, because I don't have a large enough rolling pin to make that happen. So counters are very clean to do this because you are going to be spreading it out and have a lot of surface area, so make sure that's done before you get started. And other than that, we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. Our other pasta video does have this first part as far as bringing all the ingredients together and making the pasta dough itself. So this is going to be a fairly quick, less explanatory version. We're going to throw this together and then we'll show you how to stretch it out and roll it and cut it into some fettuccine strips. Same as last time, we're just going to start, like I said, clean surface. We're going to put our 1 cup of semolina flour, our 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Now the amount of flour you're going to use is going to vary by how large your eggs are. Obviously if they're bigger you'll need more flour, if they're smaller less. This is a good ratio. Usually like 1 egg per, I think it's 100 grams of flour, which is a little less than a cup. We're going to start, same as we did last time. Okay, once you have that, you're going to take your 2 whole eggs, 1 egg yolk, and we're just going to take a fork, just kind of beat the eggs. Alright, I've got just a little bit of structure there. So I'm going to take my olive oil. I'm just going to give a little squirt. Like we said, we just like to use a little bit of olive oil because it makes the dough a little more forgiving and gives it a nice texture. And then just a sprinkle of salt. You don't need very much salt right at the beginning because you are going to salt the water when you cook it. Right, so just keep it together. Once your eggs are no longer running, then you can go ahead and switch to doing this with your hands. So we'll clean that off. Keep getting more flour on it until it kind of gets to where you want it. When you push hard, you'll be able to feel it's still sticky in the middle, so that means I can still get plenty more flour into this. This is coming to about where we want it texture-wise and moisture-wise. Once you get it there, just spend a couple minutes just kneading it into exactly what you want. And as it starts smoothing out, you can kind of feel it's getting to where you want it. It's not sticky. Then you just want to kind of start pulling it into a ball. Just pull from the top to the bottom. Pinch everything down below. Just like that. Now I'm serving 4 people for dinner, so this amount will be able to be stretched out and formed into enough noodles that I should be able to serve 4 people pretty comfortably. You're going to have some extra flour. You're going to need more in the next steps. So certainly don't just clear this off and throw it away, because then you're just going to have a waste. We're going to take and wrap this up in a piece of plastic. Try and make sure all the air is out of that. Get it to a nice little bunch. A couple of twists to push more of the air out. It's all nice and wrapped up. It's ready to rest. It needs to rest for about 30 minutes just to let all the gluten and everything relax and kind of come together in one cohesive piece. And then we'll come back and we'll roll this whole thing out and we'll show you how to cut it into some fettuccine noodles.
Eventually.
So we've got just a little over a half an hour rest time on our pasta. I'm going to go ahead and get started on rolling this out and making it into some fettuccine. So I do have a damp towel that's ready to go. As you get the pasta rolled out and cut into the shape, you'll want to put the bunches into a damp towel. That'll keep it so that it doesn't dry out completely and it'll be ready to cook fresh. So we've got that there. We have our little bit of extra flour still waiting for us from when we actually prepared the pasta. I'm going to take a little bit of that, just prepare my workspace, then pull my pasta out. So I'm just going to push this down. Oh yeah, this is nice and relaxed. And just get some flour on both sides of it, start pushing it into shape. You want to make sure that you're not sticking to anything, so be liberal with the flour. And like I said in the beginning, I have a couple different rolling pins, but you want one that's definitely going to be big enough, and you don't want it to be a French rolling pin, so you want to make sure that you have a nice smooth even surface all the way across it as opposed to a tapered design. So I'm going to take and just start rolling this out, kind of like you're doing a pie crust. You just start in the middle, flip it over regularly, and just try and keep an even thickness all the way across the dough. I'm just going to shape this towards a rectangle so that my fettuccine noodles come out nice and evenly shaped. And don't forget, you want to keep turning this over, and you want to make sure that you have flour on both sides. Then again, start in the middle, pull it out. Anytime you feel like it's starting to stick to your work surface, just flip it, get a little more flour. As I get this piece out, I'm going to go ahead and just split it. You can keep this as one piece and keep working it, which is good because it will give you a more consistent thickness across the entire piece. But mine don't need to be perfect, so I'm just going to make it easier to work with. Cut it in half. I'm going to roll this piece. It's got plenty of flour on both sides so it won't stick. And I'm just going to set that inside my damp towel for a moment. And then I'll just keep working with this one smaller piece. As you're doing this, if any cracks form, that's pretty much normal. Just pinch them together, kind of overlap them, and then just keep rolling them out. As it starts getting longer, you can also use whatever you're rolling it with to kind of roll it up a little bit and then flip it over. You can see I'm getting some folds over here. That's fine, it's not going to hurt anything. And as you're doing it, just kind of feel for any high spots, any spots that are not rolled out as far. You just want it to be as even as you can. If you were doing this on a pasta machine, you'd want to get this down to that very lowest setting, you know, the thinnest you could get it. And you want to do the same thing rolling it out by hand. And this is probably a little longer than I would actually want my fettuccine noodles when I finish. So we're going to take El Tigre here. I'm going to go ahead, just cut across there. Make sure I'm floured up on both sides of this top one. Just like we did with the first one. I'm going to roll that up, put that under our damp towel. And we're just going to finish with this smaller piece here. And the way you test is you want to be able to kind of see your fingers as you're putting them underneath the piece of pasta. So this piece is at the thickness that we want. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to grab a cutting board. What we're going to do is make sure I've got enough flour so that it doesn't stick together on itself. Flip it over again, flour there, and then we're going to roll this, put that on our cutting board, and then again, you want to make sure that you use a nice sharp knife on this so that you're not smushing everything together. You want to be able to just cut through it nice and clean, and then you're just going to go down and cut it into pieces. I've got a few inconsistent spots, but that's okay. I don't think the family will mind. And then there, you can see, you've got beautiful, fresh fettuccine noodles. Alright, from here, cooking them is about the same as when we made the fresh spaghetti noodles, so if you need to see how we did that, just reference back to that video, which we'll post up here. You know, while you're working on the rest of your dough, make sure you've got plenty of flour here to keep them from sticking together. You're going to take these, you're going to put them in your damp towel so that they're fresh to go into cooking. And other than that, you're ready to go. Let me tell you, fresh pasta, it's always going to be better. This is the way that you're going to want to go. Go ahead and try and make this and let us know what you've done. Send it to us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you got. If you have any questions, you can put them down in the comments. Until next time, go ahead and skip the shortcuts and we'll see you again. Thanks, guys.